I think it goes without saying that if Night Dive is attached to something, then I'm very much interested in whatever that project is. It could be something that we all knew and loved from the past, or something just beloved by many. Or it could be something that's more of a cult classic that is now getting another opportunity to live on again, with a new remaster. Care always seems to be a factor with many of the Night Dive efforts. You know you're going to be getting something good, and it's one of those rare situations. I have not been disappointed by any of their efforts yet. Some might even say that doing a remaster is easy. I think that is partially because Night Dive tends to make that stuff look easy to do. But we all know that a lot of care, time, talent, and effort went into each of their releases. So while I have dabbled here a bit with System Shock, especially from Night Dive's own remake of the first, I really enjoyed what I had played, and now I had the opportunity to get a taste for the second game, with their remaster of the sequel. I just started playing it, and I really like it.
Hacker, a pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine?
In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
Starting out, I wanted to praise the tutorial. While this is more of a stop and play section, so that you can really understand everything that you're going to be doing within the game, I do appreciate this aspect and how it's done. If you're going to do a tutorial, you need to do it right. So if it's one that is a bit more instructional in how it's laid out for the player, so that there is little confusion going forward, I really like that. Or you make it interesting, maybe incorporate some interesting gameplay or even narrative stuff. For System Shock 2, it goes into being more instructional, but it is presented so well. I found myself feeling little to no confusion on the basics of the game. At the same time, it allowed me to really take in and enjoy what Night Dive was able to do here. What I mean by this is that I'm sure that a lot of work went into remastering this title visually, but then also coming up with a way to get it working on controller. With some of these modern control options, that takes a lot of tinkering to find something that fits well for that player. I think the original System Shock 2 game was a PC only game, and probably only worked with mouse and keyboard. But with the use of quick selects and then fine tuning for this remaster, we get this sort of marriage of an older game that then works well with a controller and feels more natural. Again, something that we all kind of expect when it comes to Night Dive Studios and their efforts.
Shuttle A138, you have clearance for landing on the Von Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
Reinitializing memory streams. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Something I will give credit to the game too is that there's sort of this old school sense of exploration and experimentation. You sometimes don't know where you need to go, or there are cases where there's so many different ways to even go, along with even finding useful nooks that you may not have even considered when first going into a room or a new area. This is where it feels very player initiated. What will you seek out? What will you miss? That feeling of satisfaction when being able to stumble across something because you opted to go right instead of left. Maybe this even has you considering replaying the game because of finding a better way to upgrade or better your character because of the knowledge that you gained through going through this area the first time. Stuff like this has that old school charm, and then sort of figuring it out type of design. It's where older games like this being brought back, and in this case remastered, they feel so fresh compared to what we see within the bigger budget space today. System Shock does give the player a lot of room, and then allows for that exploration and satisfying discovery too. Another cool nod is how you can kind of develop your initial character. You go on missions, but they are more just like selections, and they will affect your starting stats and skills. It's a bit of a narrative background that then gets applied and experienced to your character, sort of adding on some meat to your choices in a way. You do get a more traditional selection of skills, stats, and such that you'll want to be upgrading based on the modules that you have, but with a bit of story right here, it adds something, and I really like it. Plus, you even see from the start how you can level up your character and use those modules. You can choose to specialize or even diversify, depending on how you want to play the game. Maybe you want to go for more traditional weapons, energy ones, or even just focus on your powers. It's up to the player. While I did not have a chance to experience this feature for this video, I was really surprised when I saw advertising for System Shock 2 Remastered. One being, hey, it's another night dive effort. It's probably going to be a good time. I can't wait. At the same time, there was going to be a multiplayer cooperative component to it as well. In the trailer, it highlighted this portion of being able to play it with a handful of friends. That totally changes up the dynamic, and then even extends out the replay value significantly. Again, I didn't have much knowledge of System Shock 2. I only knew that much of the talent from these games would then go on to make BioShock. So when I saw the multiplayer was going to be an option, well, that got me even more excited for this release. So like I said, while I haven't experienced the multiplayer here, this is definitely an added feature that's going to be something big for many players. With my short time with it so far, I really like what I have experienced. Again, as I go through this and even touching on the sequel for the very first time, I'm left with that feeling of wow in some areas, especially with that sense of exploration. Another positive aspect is that there's a bit of a survival horror element to this game as well, especially as you are managing your supplies and all of that. Combine that with the station itself providing its own sense of surprise around every corner. Gameplay is memorable, right from the word go. So in that sense, we are in for a treat here. Well, I feel like I need to play this more to really get even more comfortable with it. I am having a blast. Shooting is good, with melee being rather janky. It's functional, but not something you're going to want to do outside of its function, or saving on ammo. But the RPG aspects, exploration, player choice, that is where I see this game standing very, very tall. Well, System Shock 2, from what I understand, is a beloved game, with the Steam sale releasing at the same time. Do not let this title go under the radar. As I understand it, it's only on PC right now, and then later in July, the game will be coming to all major platforms and systems. And as I understand it too, the multiplayer is going to be crossplay. I am eager to try out the co-op, and even more importantly, I cannot wait to see what Night Dive does next. They always manage to be working on something interesting, and then shadow drop that announcement, or even a game itself. Lastly, I love the little additions and such that this remaster, as with other Night Dive efforts, have, like with all the background and supplemental stuff like pictures, videos, beta footage, and all of that. While it may not be new gameplay, it's stuff that a super fan would like to see within the remasters, and with this being a way for games to be preserved, having all of this stuff sort of baked into the game itself is something that I always want to see continue. I recommend you give System Shock 2 a look and try this out. What are your thoughts on all this? Have you played any of the System Shock games, or their remasters, or in some cases, remakes? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.